Hey everyone, it's Jananie, and welcome back to my channel, The Story Ain't Over. So today I'm coming to you with my first ever bullet journal setup. So this is a beautiful new journal I got from Notebook Therapy. It's called the Suki Moonflower Bullet Journal, and it's got beautiful stained gold edges and embossing, and it was just the perfect kind of thing I wanted for my bullet journal. It's also vegan leather. And it's got this beautiful little quote at the back that says, "Only at night do my ideas bloom like the moonflower," which I just thought was super cute. So obviously bullet journaling is kind of new for my channel, but this is something that I really want to do more of in 2021. So I decided to just, go with the flow and start doing it from January, and I'm hoping to bring you a plan with me every month and just some more journaling videos, something kind of calming to watch because I personally love watching bullet journal videos, so I hope this will be fun for you guys. So right now I'm trying to do a kind of 2021 title page here on the inside cover of my journal. This was kind of a fail, and as you will see later on, I end up totally taking out this page and redoing it. But the theme for my kind of setup for 2021 for my bullet journal is actually based off a book, and let's see if you guys can guess it, but it involves some gold and some stars and some constellations. But yeah, as I said, I really didn't like how this title page kind of turned out. I just don't like how I wrote the numbers, so I do end up taking this out, but this next little part might give you a clue as to what the theme is going to be, because this is a quote from the book, something that is repeated often in the book because the main character just wants to be remembered. So I'm writing here, "I remember you 2021," and I wanted to give it kind of that theme, but I didn't really like how this page turned out, so I kind of scrapped that idea. But regardless, the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue theme persists throughout this video, which you will later see. I kind of took the idea of the constellations on the cover and the gold and incorporated that through all of these spreads. And I will be leaving links to all of the supplies that I used in this video so that you guys can grab them if you want, but a lot of these I kind of pulled from other bullet journalers and YouTubers who do bullet journaling, so I would definitely go check those out. I will leave some links for some of my favorite ones down below. But now I am getting into my next page, which is my grid spacing kind of page. So this is something I took off of Amanda Rach Lee's channel. She does this for her bullet journal setup basically every year. So mine is not as pretty as hers, but I'm kind of okay with that. It works for what I need it to do. So I started by numbering each of the little squares on this page, I guess, even though they're just dotted, but it was, I think, 26 or 28 across and then 35 down, something like that. But I'm also marking how many squares it is to get halves and thirds and quarters, and if there's a space on the end, how many spaces would be in between, all that, just so that I can refer back to this later on when I'm making spreads, and it'll be a little bit easier than having to count every single time. And then now I'm just doing a little title thing with my little stamp set. I use this a lot in this video, which you will soon learn as you continue watching. And I also got this beautiful gold ink, which I am in love with. It's just so pretty and just makes these spreads just look so nice. And then I'm going in with my gold pen again, my gold gel pen, and adding some stars. I kind of don't really like how this turned out, but it's okay. We're just gonna roll with it. All right, and now we are going into a nice little page that I created with an Addie LaRue quote. So it says, "What is a person if not the marks they leave behind?" So this is by Victoria Schwab, V.E. Schwab, the author of the book. And I also tried to incorporate kind of the font that is on the cover of the book in each of these words, so person, marks, and behind, just to give it more of that Addie LaRue feel. And the reason I picked this quote was because I felt like it really fit with the idea of a bullet journal and trying to leave behind a mark, some sort of record of your time. So I thought that that really fit, so I thought I would put it here. But yeah, I'm kind of happy with how this turned out. I had kind of done this out in a different journal just to see how it would look, and I'm quite happy with how it turned out. And I did put like black between the stars this time around because I wasn't sure if like putting more gold would look that nice, so that's kind of what I went with. And then I also just added some washi tape here in the corner and at the bottom because there was a bit of white space. Don't really love how I placed these, but regardless, I think it works. And I got a bunch of gold and star themed washi tape from Amazon, I think. So I will link those down below as well, but I love all of them. They're super pretty. And then I'm just going in again here to add a little bit of black detailing to the letters because I felt like they were too gold and you couldn't really read the letters, but regardless, it turned out pretty nice. All right, so now we're on to my next spread, which is my future log. So for this spread, I decided to do something also inspired by Amanda Rach Lee. I think she did this for her future log this year, but basically she kind of made some Dutch doors for the future log because I made my future log so that like there's 4 months on each page. So that requires like doing 3 separate spreads. So her reasoning was that she didn't want to do the title kind of design at the top multiple times. So she made these Dutch doors so that you would only have to do the title future log thing at the top only once. And so this is me cutting out the pages with my X-Acto knife, and it was a time. It took a lot of effort, and I'm not very good with an X-Acto knife, so it wasn't completely pretty, and I did kind of ruin the binding on my journal for some of the pages, so you'll kind of see that in the next spread that I do. But now I'm just kind of adding some black paper at the top so that I can put the title on. And now I'm just going in with my stamp set again and my gold ink and just putting in future log. All right, next I'm going in with my gold gel pen again and adding a few stars to continue with that Addie LaRue constellation theme. And for my future log this year, I don't really actually use my future log that much in my previous journals, but this time I'm hoping to track my birthdays that I have coming up, you know, of people I care about, any kind of events. And I'm also hoping to track my vacation time from work on my future log so that I have it at a one central location. And here I just went in with my Tombow. I'll leave the number down below. I don't remember which one it is, but it's kind of this goldish color. So I used that to just add like a little title space. And I also added some washi tape at the bottom of the spread just to fill that white space, and some washi tape on the little tabs used to flip the pages. I'm not totally happy with how this turned out, but regardless, it looks kind of cute. All right, so on to the next spread. So here you can kind of see in the top corner there, I kind of messed with the binding on the journal. So I decided to put some big black washi tape in that corner to kind of cover up the rip in the page. But this new spread is for my goals for 2020. I decided to keep this pretty minimal because I don't want to put too much pressure on myself this year, because 2020 was just a crazy year as it was, and 2021 is not going to be starting off at the best foot because of the situation with COVID. So I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself at the beginning of the year, and I'm just going to lay out just a few goals both work and personal. And by work, I mean not my like full-time job, but actually I mean YouTube and that kind of thing, because I do consider it kind of like a job. And now I'm just adding some more stars. I tried to do some like black stars, but I didn't end up liking this that much. And you will see later on, I end up changing like this entire little corner of the page because I just didn't like how it turned out. But regardless, you know, you just go with the flow. This is my first time doing like a really intense bullet journal, so I think I did pretty well for my first time. And though I did actually do bullet journaling back in 2017 to 2019, I just kind of stopped in 2020. But even back then, like my bullet journals were not this intense or beautiful. Okay, so now I'm kind of flipping through how I redid some of those pages because I just didn't end up liking them. And I ended up doing them off camera for some reason. But you can just kind of see how I changed things up a little bit, mainly on that first inside cover, and then here on the future log I added a little bit of stuff. And then you will also see on the goals page I changed up that kind of corner piece and made it more scrapbooky. And then this is just a close-up. You can see I kind of smudged some of the gold there. But over here on the left, this is a sticker that I got, I think in a Lumacrate box, but it's a quote from The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. No story ever truly ends as long as it is told. And I feel like that kind of fit the theme. And then I added, you know, more stars on my future log, especially on the sides, and did that whole constellation theme, and I think it turned out really pretty. I really like these little constellations on the side, which make me really happy, I guess. And then I'm just flipping through the rest of the future log here. And for the goals page, I just made it feel more scrapbooky. So I kind of actually took some packing paper from like packages that I've got and ripped it up a bit, and then redid the goals thing in just black and added some gold stars and more washi tape. All right, this next page is one that I'm kind of excited about because I wanted it to be a complement to the goals page. And this is a little envelope that I put at the middle of this page, and inside I'm going to put little pieces of paper, and in those pieces of paper I'm going to write little things that, you know, I feel like I accomplished in 2020, things I'm proud of in 2020, so that later on in this year I can kind of go back and see that I did do a lot in the previous year. And then I'm also going to have little pieces of paper that detail things that I'm looking forward to in 2021. And so here you can kind of see I'm adding this little title looking back on 2020 and looking forward to 2021. And then I also added the little gold constellations in theme with Addie LaRue, and I really like how these turned out in the gold gel pen. All right, so this next spread is the things to check out page. So this is also something from Amanda Rach Lee. She kind of details out the things that she wants to check out, which is pretty straightforward, I guess. But I kind of reduced it down to just 3 categories. So that's movies, music, and TV shows. I tend to watch a ton of different TV shows throughout the year, so that is the black space there. And then the other 2 craft paper pieces are for movies and music, because those those lists end up always being shorter for me, I feel like. And in terms of TV shows, I'll watch anything from like thrillers to K-dramas to just random romantic shows like Bridgerton, which I totally binged over Christmas, and it was just great. It did have some really problematic things going on to do with a certain scene in the middle of the series, which I won't talk about too much here, but I'll leave some links down below if you want to read more about it. But I do think that the show is really great, really addicting, and I loved the performances by the actors, and I loved that they kind of decided to make a lot of the characters people of color, which was super cool to see on screen and in a period drama. And I know there's a lot of controversy over that, but I thought it was great to just see these people in those roles. So yeah, let me know if you guys watched Bridgerton, what you thought of it, and any other shows that you guys saw over the break. I would love to hear, and I'd also love to add any of your suggestions to this page. All right, so this next page is my content tracker for the year. So this bullet journal is for my personal life, but also like work life, you know, YouTube stuff as well. And so this tracker is going to track the videos that I do each month. So on my channel, I tend to do some staple videos every month, but I really do want to be more consistent about them this year. So I want to do a TBR every month, a wrap up every month, and I kind of talked about that in my January TBR video on the goals section that I had in that video. So I want to do those, and then I also usually do a faves video every month. I kind of dropped the ball a few times in 2020, so I really want to do those every month in 2021. And then another monthly piece of content that I want to track is my monthly plan with me's for bullet journaling videos. So yeah, I'm hoping to do one of those every month and hoping that you guys can look forward to those. So I will track those here. And then I think like the last thing is like an other section and then a sponsored thing that I do every month. So I want to track that as well. And then in the last two boxes on the right, the bigger ones, I also want to track the number of subscribers that I have by the end of each month, and then also the number of followers that I have by the end of each month on Instagram. I really want to continue the trajectory of growth that I kind of started in 2020 and continue that through 2021 and bring you guys along for the journey and just continue pumping out as much content as I can. And as you can see here, I just added a bunch more washi tape at the bottom just to fill the white space. And I'm actually really happy with how these two pages turned out. So now on to the next page. So this one is actually probably my favorite one out of all the ones that I set up, just because how it looks like on as a whole, and it was just so pretty. So this is another thing that I kind of took from Amanda Rachel Lee. She's just so awesome and has so many great ideas and has been doing bullet journaling for so long. So I was trying to learn from the master. But this is a 2021 in pictures spread. So this is where for each month I'll be printing out a Polaroid. I do have a Polaroid printer or Fujifilm Instax printer, and I will be putting a picture on this spread for each month in the first 6 months of the year. I do plan to kind of use this bullet journal for only the first 6 months of the year because I feel like I'm going to be using a lot of pages each month. So I am planning to kind of switch to a second journal for the second half of the year. So that's why I only did one of these pages instead of two. So I will be doing another one of these pages when I set up my second half of the year journal. But the reason I ended up really loving this spread is because I started adding the little stars, and then I wanted to do the same kind of connected constellation from Addie LaRue. And I just love the way that this kind of turned out because I connected the stars across both pages and, you know, through the kind of placements for the pictures, and it just ended up looking really pretty, and I am just kind of emotional. I just love it. It's just so cute. So let me know what you guys thought of it. Maybe you guys think it looks terrible, but you know, I like it, so going with the flow, and really excited to end up filling this with some memories and some pictures, and I'm not going to put too much pressure on the kind of memories that I put here. I'm just going to put some, you know, nice memories here. All right, so now we are on to the final flip through for this 2021 bullet journal setup. I am so happy with how this setup turned out. I love the new inside cover page. I love the quote that I added here, and just kind of the cohesive color scheme here. You know, the black and gold and the white just makes me really happy. I love anything kind of constellation and star related, planetary themed, so I think this just turned out really nice for my own personal taste beyond just the Addie LaRue theme, but I also just feel like it kind of fits with what I want to do in 2021, kind of remember more and, you know, scrapbook and document more of my life in this way, and I really just love how all of this turned out, and I really love my little stamp set because it just made all my titles look a lot better than I could ever do them myself. But yeah, that's about everything. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this, and if you are doing any bullet journaling in 2021, and I will see you in my next video. So please remember that this story ain't over. Bye.